So continuing with car handling and the first person character being able to enter the car but also exiting the car, and we need to fix that now. And I came to a realization. I can close these down and open them up so everything is the same. I came to the realization that we do have in our player blueprint our player controller base. Here we correctly assigning a new menu mapping context. That is okay, but the interact thing that is located in the player controller, and the player controller is the same no matter if we're controlling the pawn of a humanoid or a car. And here we can see that that is of a slight problem, because this logic is related to the humanoid pawn and we're having an interact functionality, but we want to alter that. We still want the interact button, but when we're a humanoid we want to look at the car and click this button and to be able to mount the car. But when we're in the car and click the same button, we should exit it. So this entire thing needs to be on the pawn. So I'm clicking Control X and then I'm going into the character blueprint pawn. So here we have all these inputs. I'm adding this one here. And it spews out an error, and that is because we're getting the pawn, but we're in the pawn. I'm just gonna compile the base here and save it, and let's fix this one. So what's going on here? It gets the component class look at, but we have that one here, so we can just yank it out and hook it in like so, and then delete this and this. And this should work just as well. And let's make a comment. Interact. Quickly testing so we didn't break anything. So it's not that it was just a human error for my part. We need to connect the instigator here, obviously. So who is interacting? Well, it's us. So getting a self-reference. We are interacting. Compiling and testing. There we go. So now it works. So now we moved this interact into the player. So now we're just gonna move the same interact into the car. But we're just grabbing this one, the enhanced input action, copying that one, and moving into the sports car. We could decide that we want the same functionality on all cars, so therefore we can venture into the base class of it, the base vehicle, and add it here instead. And this begin play, we could nuke and clean it up a little bit. And let's do a print here just to check if it works. So looking at the car, entering the car, being able to drive around. If I'm hitting F, I'm doing hello. So it works. Now we need to exit the car, and that is a little bit more cumbersome, because we need to find a spawn point to the side of the car and then spawn a new pawn and then possess it. So let's get to it. We are going to make two different spawn points, one on the left side and one on the right side, presumably on the door positions of any given car. So, but we'll do it in the base, and then we can alter the positions in children. So by doing, what do I mean by that? So clicking add, I'm writing scene and adding a scene component. I'm treating this like an empty, just a reference point, and I'm choosing scene for it to be as lightweight as possible. One could argue to use some kind of static mesh or something and then hide it, but then it holds some computation power and the scene is a little bit more empty. So let's do this one for left. Left exit spawn. No, exit spawn left. Exit spawn left. And we can pull it slightly to the left. The red one, X, is the forward axis. So I'm pushing it just slightly to the left. I'm doing control duplicate and naming this one right. Pulling that one to the right. Resetting. How far did we pull that one? 15 minus 59. Let's do it minus 100. And right plus 100. Okay, so these are the spawn points. And if we go into the sports car, they are still there. Exit spawn right, exit spawn left. And if we take a look at the car, you can see it here. So there's the right and there's the left. And we can see that we need to move it a little bit longer here in the sports car. Let's move it there. Minus 170 and plus 170. So they are outside. We can move it a little bit up in the air so it's not smack on the floor and creates problems because it being intersected into the floor or something like that. So let's move it up 50. And the other one up, not rotation, location, up 50. So these points will be when we hit the I can close the player. When we hit the interact, we should get the point and try to spawn there. So let's try that. Removing hello. So hitting this interact, we will try to spawn on the left side for convenience. So I'm putting out the left side and then we're choosing spawn actor. Spawn actor from class. What actor should we spawn? We should spawn the CBP player. That's the one that is exiting. And where should we spawn it? Get world transform. Get world transform. Get world location, world rotation, world transform. Get world transform from where this one is located when we're actually playing. Collision handling override, let's leave it at that for now. We have like always spawn and stuff like that, but we don't want to spawn if we're inside a wall or something. So let's just have it at default for now. So this is spawning the player, and then we will just do despawn or a possess, I mean, on this one. So this one needs to be possessed. So how did we do that? Let's take a look on the sports car. We're getting the controller, casting to character. We can get our controller. Copy. Moving into the base vehicle. We want to possess it. And what do we want to possess? We want to possess this that we just spawned, and we need to have a controller, and we could get the controller that we're currently having. So get player controller. Or we could just get controller. Target self. This should work. So let's try it out. Oh my god, it worked. It worked so nice. And the car went away. And we're not triggering the interact points correctly, so we need to deal with that one as well. So this error is actually related to our blueprint component in the lookout. So we need to move into there. We can close this one down, and then we move into the blueprint components for the player and entering the lookout. So the problem is we spawn a new character. We spawn this character that holds this component, and then immediately this one fires off. And we start to collect data here, and after we have spawned the character, we possess it. I'm talking about let's see it here. So this flow here, we spawn the character and then we possess it. And the problem being that when we spawn it, we assign a lot of stuff on begin play. Amongst one thing, the player controller, but we don't it doesn't hold a player controller yet. So we need to solve that. So I'm just gonna unhook this one, and we probably don't need this. I'm gonna delete this and assign the player camera slightly differently. Like so. And let's make custom event instead. So searching for custom event. On initiate component. on initiate component. So this one needs to deliver the camera, this player camera, because it's needed here on the event tick. So we do need the camera. So we'll deliver it in a slightly different way when it's actually initiated. When is it initiated? We're going to the character blueprint player here. So this is the player, and it's initiated on event possessed. So that's good. So when we're possessing this character, we're assigning new mapping, and we're assigning crouch. Very and here we can also initiate the custom event that we created inside of our BPC lookat. So dragging that one out, and then we can get the custom event. So what was it called? On initiate component. On initiate component. But here we need another value so we can pass along the camera, this first person camera. And we can see here hovering over it, it's a camera component. So that one needs to be added. So going into the BPC lookat, so this one needs to hold a value of a camera component. A new input. So hitting plus, searching for camera component. A camera component reference. And let's name it player camera ref. Can we do that? We could, because it was the same as this one. So I'm gonna this one is camera manager reference. So we'll delete that one. And we can delete it from these as well. Player camera ref. Delete that one. So now these don't have a target. We'll fix that one because we are going to promote to variable here. Play camera ref, removing the spaces. Now we have a new one. Compile and save. Where did it go? Components, yeah, it's marked there. We play a camera ref, it's a component. So dragging that one out. Can we hook it in immediately? Camera manager. So we can't hook it in. So we can get location, get world location, hooking that one in, removing that, and get forward actor, vector, hooking that one in. So now we're actually delivering the correct, or the closer to the actual camera that's on the player, and we're doing that when it's initiated. So let's see if that works. Well, we didn't assign it in the silly me camera component, camera blueprint player here. No, not camera, character blueprint player. We didn't hook it in. Getting tired here. We need to give it the actual camera, and it's this one. Now it's tracing. And I can exit. So it's tracing there as well, because we should delete this one when we're processing that one. So this one is still active. We can fix that. Going into the character blueprint player. So when we unpossess it, event unpossess, we should destroy this actor. Destroy actor. Self. So then that little box should disappear. Now we don't have any capsule there. And I'm able to exit as well. Am I able to enter again? I am. And exit. We have made a working pawn. We can see we have some problems there. We have a double UI, for example, because we're constantly adding more and more UI. We're never removing it from screen. So there's a lot of cleaning up to do, but we have made a system where we can enter and exit the vehicle freely. That is super awesome. Live long and prosper.